The best of the Morning X. 99X.
Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy live in New York City for the MTV Video Music Awards. Mike and Phoenix are here from Linkin Park.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's happening?
We talked to you about 2 or 3 years ago here at the MTV Awards. You guys came down, sat with us. You guys had just broken, with the record. And I'm wondering, how's the career been going since then?
Has it really popped? I mean, have you
guys?
Yeah, we haven't talked to you guys. We got to catch up. Things are going pretty good.
Have they picked up a little bit?
We came out with another album.
Yeah.
It's called Meteora.
Uh-huh.
And we
still playing the small club circuit.
We're just starting to try and break into the theaters and do that whole thing, but
just about to break.
We're about to break.
Nice.
We came out with a song called "Somewhere I Belong." That
I don't know.
We're up for
Never heard it.
Before that was Crawling.
Oh yeah, you don't know about Crawling yet. We had a song called Crawling, a song called In the End.
Never heard of it.
And then then Meteora, and then Somewhere I Belong. We're up for a VMA for the video for Somewhere I Belong.
Linkin Park is the name of the band?
Yeah.
With a K.
Yeah.
With a K. Okay, all right. Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
it's been a long time. When you're on a bill with a band like Metallica, a legendary band, they've got 20 years worth of fans and all that. I mean, even though you guys have such a strong fan base now, before you go on stage, do you ever have the thought run through your mind like, oh my God, these people do not care about us?
Absolutely. And the thing about it too is that a couple of years ago doing the Ozfest, we got a bit of our baptism by fire in that kind of a show. You're playing for the Black Sabbath crowd.
Uh-huh.
It's 5:30, 6 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening, and Sabbath's not coming out till 9. These people don't want to have anything to do with what you're doing, And for us, we kind of had to learn real quick what that is and how to play a show in that way.
You're feeling like Justin Timberlake at that AC/DC show up in Toronto a couple weeks ago.
Probably
I didn't hear about that, but I can imagine that would
that
be.
had to be
You
the
know what,
worst
though?
feeling ever.
For me, though, I think that especially being for Chester and I, when we were doing the vocals and doing the kind of talking to the crowd, trying to get people into things verbally, you have to learn to speak the language of the people that are coming to the show. And at our shows, it was a tiny bit different than sometimes when we play festivals, when we played with Ozfest, or when we played with Metallica. You've got to learn to speak that language. So when you come out on stage, you are saying things that they can understand, and that gets them excited to watch the show. So at this point, when we played the Summer Sanitarium shows, we felt like we were really connecting with those kids. We came out to play. I mean, even though we have less material than the other bands on the bill, we came out to do our best with it. And I think that people got really excited. I think it was a good show.
We're talking to Mike and Phoenix from Linkin Park. Who made the first call about going on tour with the Summer Sanitarium tour? Because to play with Metallica is such a cool thing for a band. I mean, was that a manager-to-manager thing, or did you guys personally talk to James Hetfield and Lars?
The first we heard of it was just from our management. That's usually how all the lines of communication goes. And before this tour, we weren't friends. We'd never gotten the chance or opportunity to meet and kind of like get to know the Metallica guys. So we just heard it from our manager actually while we were still working on the record on Meteora. As Metallica's approached us about doing the Summer Sanitarium tour this summer. Would you guys be interested? And at that point, I think we were just like, yeah, whatever it takes, whatever we have to do. How much do we have to pay?
Where do we
play?
sign? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Are those guys pretty accessible, though, throughout the tour? I mean,
absolutely. And then kind of like, I guess we've been saying all along now, once we were actually on the tour and once we kind of got to know the guys, it was just amazing to see, how open they are, how friendly they are, how down to earth. They're just great, a great group of guys.
They've got an empire going on. When you're walking around under backstage, I've never seen more signs. Those classic signs where you see all the different cities pointing in different directions. Yeah. Laundry, accounting, travel, massage.
And what's so funny is that those guys have, those things that you're seeing are because they've been touring so long, and they have it down to a science. And yet with all of that history there, and the fact that they are just so in the touring world and are such hardcore musicians, they still somehow manage to keep their heads on straight and be friendly, nice guys and like down to earth guys. And I think for us that was really inspiring.
Although not to question Metallica, but guys, is traveling with your own masseuse rock and roll?
You know what? You need it.
Actually, if you think about it, most professional athletes get that type of thing done, and
Sure.
what we're doing up there is very active. So if you want to vote, I put the vote in for keeping the masseuse.
Okay.
But
I
that's
don't even
because I
know.
beat myself up on stage, and I need sometimes, like, once a month or something, I need to get some muscles loosened back up.
Describe what it feels like to play on a stadium stage. I mean, is it just a completely different sensation than playing like a Lakewood amphitheater, like a 20,000 seat shed?
There's definitely some point where a lot of people is just a lot of people. And I don't know what the magic number is, but there's a stage where 20,000 looks like 100,000, and it's just too many people for you to kind of comprehend it upstairs. And that was like what this whole tour was. It was 5-6 weeks of every day just going out there and just seeing literally a sea of people, to the point of you can't see everyone's faces. You can't. By the end of the back, they're just little blurs. It's a really weird feeling.
You find yourself saying things like, somebody will ask, how many people are there today? And you're like, I don't know, like 40,000, 50, 60,000, something like that. That's 20,000 people difference.
That's that's a whole venue.
That's like, it's crazy. And if at a certain point, you're just thinking, man, I can't believe I just rounded, up to the nearest 20,000.
Yeah.
It's like the difference of 1,000 shows at the Roxy's worth of people, like where we kind of cut our teeth, or where we started out in LA.
It must have
It's
started
200-person club. Yeah,
like one. I mean, just like one big mass.
Yeah, it is.
We're talking to Mike and Phoenix from Linkin Park, backstage, MTV Video Music Awards. We heard about all the reports from the Chicago show, Summer Sanitarium Tour with Limp Bizkit, and Fred Durst, I guess, getting into an altercation with the crowd, and people throwing things at him, and him, he's shouting things back at the crowd. Was that escalated? I mean, did all that stuff really happen, or was it blown up in the media?
I was actually, at that time, I was seeing Lara Croft, Tomb Raider 2, in the worst neighborhood you could ever imagine. It was one of these deals where, I'll get back to your question, but this is just kind of a funny side note. Like, this is almost more newsworthy than what really happened. Brad, our guitar player, goes on the internet. He's like, I want to go see a movie. Goes on the internet, finds the nearest theater. Great. It's playing. It's 10 minutes away, whatever. We hop in like a runner's car, say, take us here. And he's like, are you sure? Yeah, just take us there. We want to go see the movie. How bad could it be? It's like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Well, most of these venues are usually not in the best neighborhoods.
It's not. Not only is it not the best neighborhood, this is the worst neighborhood.
Yeah,
You stuck out a bit, huh?
You're from Chicago.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago.
I don't know the name of the area, and I wouldn't want to say it if I did.
It's called the Hood.
Yeah, exactly.
Enter
There's
your
like-
city name here.
Yeah.
It was pretty rugged, and we watched the movie. We told the runner, look, you have got to be here at like 10:15. We found out when the movie ended. We're like, if you're not here exactly when this movie gets out for us to get in the car and leave, like, you're dead.
That was the time you became demanding rock stars.
Yeah, we're just like, the car needs to be here at this time. And then when we got back from that movie, we just heard, kind of like, oh, when Limp Bizkit had to cut their set short, da-da-da-da-da-da. But from our vantage point, even like out on the tour, it wasn't this big national deal where everybody would know about it, and somehow it just got picked up.
Your deal was way more traumatic.
Yeah, for us it was more like
Linkin Park dead at local Hood Theater.
it was like we had this crazy experience and we saw a movie in the process.
Guys,
It was pretty
continued
funny.
success. I hope you are able to share your music with like 5 or 6 more people, and maybe next year it'll be something big.
We're gonna keep working at it. We'll see.
Mike
We'll
and
see if it
Phoenix
works.
from Linkin Park. You're listening to 99X.
The best of the Morning X on 99X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The original 99.